Hey guys, welcome back to Glam Finds, and I'm here to give you some of Dapper's new drops. Talk about them, talk about my favorites. Let's start with one that I've talked about a lot, and you've seen me already wear it because I had a decant of it. It's their version of Goldfield & Banks Sunset Hour. Now real quick, I'm going to tell you, if you like Mula Mula and you were thinking like Mula Mula for summer would be really cool, this totally has Mula Mula for summer vibes, and I really like it. All in all though, this is just a nice, sweet fragrance for summer. The raspberry is what stuck out to me initially. So when I smelled this, I love raspberry in fragrances. I absolutely adore raspberry in fragrances. So I smelled the raspberry and I was like super into it, obviously. And I immediately was like, I have to wear this. It is really nice. And I will also tell you this, do not overspray this one because I did that on accident and nobody was happy with me. It is a really nice scent, but it is already really potent, just so you guys know. I had just the sample atomizer and I sprayed it, and yeah, it choked us out as a team in my sister's car. I think it was me, my sister, and my brother-in-law. But once it dried down, a lot of hours later, it smelled really, really good. And other times that I wore it and I wore the appropriate amount, it did really well. I would say 2-3 sprays of this tops, especially from an actual bottle and not the 5 ml. For some reason, whenever I have the 5 ml atomizers, I always think that I need to spray a lot more to get the same job done. And it turns out that is very much not true for 90% of fragrances. So definitely check that one out if you like that kind of nice raspberry sweet note, but you want it to be a little bit more summer appropriate. Next. Okay, so the reason I'm going to talk about this one next is because I've talked about this one so much. Because it's so good. It is Bodacia the Victorious Tiger. This is probably my most reached for Dapper right now. Typically I save these for the end, but there's no point because I've constantly talked about it on Instagram. If you like something like Bulgari Tiger, but you want something a little bit different, this has this nice citrus scent profile, but it adds a little bit more to it. You got a little black currant, mojito note. But what I really notice is there's musk in here, and the musk blends things together really well. So you're gonna have a lot of freshness, a lot of that fruitiness from the citruses. It just smells really good, and the sillage trail that I get with this one is absolutely insane. So I wore a few sprays to the gym one day, and I usually wear this hoodie to the gym. I mean, it's just a jacket, like it barely touches my neck, but apparently a little bit got on it from my neck, and that was just hanging up by the door for a couple of days, and I walked past it and it was so potent, and I was like, that's insane that this smells so potent, like, you know, a few days later. It is really nice though, and it is probably one of my favorite fragrances to reach for out of all of my fragrances altogether right now, not just Dapper's. It's just a really easy reach. No one's gonna dislike it. Again, if you like that tiger scent profile, but you want something a little different, again, this is not like Bulgari Tiger. It's not like the same fragrance, but it does have some similarities, and I think a lot of people compare them online. I don't know what the OG of this smells like, and for the price, I don't want to find out, but the Dapper version is insanely good. Next. So this next one, I have a decant of the OG. I'm really glad I got this because, you know, I was really considering buying a full bottle, and I feel now that I don't need to. This is Dapper's version of Fragrance du Bois Solstis. So this is just a versatile Swiss Army knife of a fragrance, but done classy. So some of the notes you'll find in this fragrance are apple, mandarin, cardamom, nutmeg, neroli, pepper, sandalwood, and vetiver. Super well-rounded fragrance. Touch of earthiness, very light touch, and all of these notes are blended in so well. I feel like they got nice creaminess from the sandalwood, some sweetness from the apple and the mandarin, but not too much. It never is like too much. The neroli is nice and clean and actually classes this up a little bit more. I think so does the black pepper, that extra spiciness. I like it a lot. I mean, when I wore the decant, I was getting compliments and I was like, do I really want to spend 400 bucks on this? That's why I was really hoping that this would come through, and thank God that it did. Next. This next fragrance is also a Fragrance du Bois interpretation, and it's Fragrance du Bois London Spice. I want to say this is definitely not what I thought it was going to be. London Spice, for some reason, I thought it was going to be a warm, spicy fragrance for kind of like cooler months, and it is not. I think initially the first thing I get from this is mint, kind of an aquatic vibe, really clean. You're gonna pick up lavender, some woodiness. It is really nice. Honestly, like I'd wear this anytime during hot months, spring, summer. It is refined. The mint in this one, in this version of it, stays for most of the life of the fragrance. If you're like me, I really enjoy mint. And it's really clean, and it blends in really well with the lavender to kind of keep that nice class going. But it's also a little playful, and I think some of the C notes have something to do with that. It kind of gives me that aquatic feel. It is really, really nice. If you're looking for something in that kind of aquatic vein, but not exactly an aquatic, I think they classify this one as a aromatic, fresh, spicy marine fragrance. So not technically an aquatic, but kind of. Yeah, it's really nice, and I think it's addicting. I think it's addicting probably because of the mint note in here. Definitely give it a shot if you haven't. At least get like a 5 ml or something like that. It is, again, not what I thought it was going to be. Next. So this next one is Dapper's interpretation of Bodacia the Victorious Michelin Star. Plenty of notes in here, but when this dries down, what you're going to smell the most is cherry, almond, and cinnamon, and it is delightful. It kind of, to my nose, smells gourmand. It is wearable for those of us that don't love gourmands. I'm going to say that. I love the powderiness from the almond. It does something really nice in this, and it never gets too powdery, but it is a really beautiful fragrance. I think it'd be surprisingly good for all cherry lovers out there. I feel like the cinnamon is just like, it makes everything kind of pop in here. It's got like a little bit of supporting notes, such as vanilla, cedar, cashmere, all great, but I feel like you're really gonna pick up on the cherry, the almond, and the cinnamon the most, and probably the pepper. I would actually say you probably pick up the pepper as well, because it's got that spiciness to it. It is really nice. It's really cozy. I think this is one I would wear on a date night. If I want that little playful sweetness, because I feel like it gives you that playful sweetness. And again, I am surprised with how much I love it, because you guys already know, if something could lean gourmandish, it's not my thing. This is not a gourmand, I don't think technically at least, but it leans in that direction. And I just like how playful it is. Next. Okay, so this last one is going to be an interpretation of Fragrance du Bois Secret Tryst. So right off the cuff, when you smell this one, you're immediately gonna get saffron. But then it's gonna start blending in with other notes. You're gonna pick up rose, cedar, probably a little bit of patchouli, a little bit of labdanum, some woods, a little bit of that warm cardamom. It is a really nice, warm, spicy fragrance that I'm gonna say, I don't have anything that smells like this in my collection at all, so I couldn't even compare it to anything, but I feel like it is a refined date night fragrance. Or you could wear it to something a little bit more formal, which I really like about it. I do think that if you're into fragrances that smell different but not funky different, you already know when it comes to niche, I don't like stuff that's too niche. I think you will like this one because, again, it stands out. I don't have anything similar to it, but I think that's enough. I feel like I've talked a lot. I do want to mention, out of all these, the one that I absolutely love the most is Bodacia the Victorious Tiger. It is probably going to be one that I get a 60 ml of, because I reach for it so often and I've only had it for a very short period of time. And it's a compliment getter, and I just feel like for warmer months, it's just gonna be my go-to, especially when I'm traveling. It's easier to take these 30 ml bottles. They travel really, really well. So a lot of times when I travel, I mostly take Dappers. If you've tried any of these, comment down below. Let everybody know what you think. Like this video if you liked it. Be subscribed to my channel. Hit that notification bell to get notified when I drop a new video, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!